Oh Lord, that we have counted and none is found to be missing. Lord, we know that you will continue to abide in this house. We know you will continue to abide with the speaker. We know you will continue to abide with each and every one of us and endue us with the spirit to serve Rivers people, the spirit to serve our constituents, the spirit to serve Nigeria truthfully, even when we go through pains. Thank you, Abba Father, for these promises as we start on a new footing. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen.
I move that the votes and proceedings of the 137th legislative day, Monday the 17th March 2025, be adopted as a working document. I so move.
I second the motion as moved by the working document of this House. I so move.
The day of the third section of this 10th Assembly, distinguished colleagues, we recall that on the 17th of March was the day we sat last in the second section of the 10th Assembly. We have not been able to sit as a result of the declaration of emergency rule by His Excellency, President, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Today we are here seated to represent our people and perform our statutory duties. I want to thank the members for their peaceful conduct, for their understanding, for their commitment to the people of Rivers State. And I want to believe that in this third section, we will remain committed, that we are going to put in our best in the service of Rivers State. And it's our hope that our best will be good enough for our people, and that all that our people look forward to will come to them abundantly. Members, I think we need to proceed with today's business. Clerk, what do we have?
Many part of the third section of the 10th Rivers State leader. 2. I believe that some years I was developed one Omoma constituency. 4. Edinburgh constituency. Honorable constituency.
Move this all-important motion. Mr. Speaker, the motion reads, motion to set the legislative agenda for the remaining part of the third section of the 10th Rivers State House of Assembly. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, you may recall that the President of the and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria declared a state of emergency in the state on the 18th day of March 2025. Mr. Speaker, to confirm that the emergency rule in Rivers State elapsed by 12 midnight of the 17th day of September 2025 as declared by Mr. President, and democratic structure, including the legislature and the executive, fully restored. Mr. Speaker, also to confirm that there was a peace planning that has ensured the needed peace in Rivers State that must be sustained. Mr. Speaker, we should be fully aware that one of the major gains of this emergency rule is the conduct of a violent, free, successful local government election in the states that has produced the local government chairman vice chairmen, and councillors in the 23 local government area. Mr. Speaker, we should also be aware that Rivers State Executive Council needs to be fully constituted in line with the provision of the Constitution and terms of the Peace Parley. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, that there is need to synergize with the governor towards setting out a financial plan or budget that will reflect current yearnings of the good people of the state, knowing fully well that the governor and the House never cited and made any input to the budget implemented by the emergency rule. Mr. Speaker, just to inform that there are several awards of contracts and funds spent from the consolidated revenue account of the state for the purposes during the emergency rule by the outgoing administrator, and that there is the need to come up with a true picture of what transpired. Mr. Speaker, knowing fully that the third section of the 10th Assembly commenced in June 2025, but legislative business was adversely affected by the emergency rule, and there is still need. There's still no need legislative agenda for making of laws an oversight function to address the current realities for the remaining part of this section. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the foregoing, we wish to respectfully pray this August House to do resolve as follows. 1, Mr. Speaker, commend the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for restoring democratic institutions in the state. 2, declare that the House will continue to abide by all terms of the Peace Parley and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the interest of the peace and good governance of Rivers State. 3, call on the Executive Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, GSSRS, to forward the list of his nominees for appointment as commissioners into the State Executive Council in line with the Constitution and terms of the Peace Parley. 4, call on the Executive Governors to commence the process of coming up with an appropriation law for the remaining part of the year to address current realities. 5, ascertain what transpired within the last 6 months with regards to awards of contracts and expenditure from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the state. 6, immediately outline the legislative agenda for the remaining part of the 3rd section of the 10th Assembly to reflect current realities. 7, Mr. Speaker, to make any orders this House may deem necessary in this circumstance. Mr. Speaker, sponsors of these motions are as follows. 1, Honorable Major Jack, House Leader. Honorable Linda Stewart, Deputy Leader. Honorable Silvanus Wanko, Moma Constituency. Honorable Tekena Wellington, Asautor Constituency 1. Honorable Justina Emeji, Emoa Constituency. Honorable Barle Wako, Kana Constituency. Honorable Igwe Afford, Elimi Constituency. Honorable Enemy Alabo George, Asautor Constituency. Honorable Smart Toyin Adoki, Faga Constituency 2. Mr. Speaker, by your leave, may I lay this motion at the table.
Second.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, Linda Somiari Stewart, Okrika State Constituency. I rise to support this laudable motion, which will serve as a worthy guide for a successful and productive legislative session, for which this assembly is known, and as moved by the leader, I so support.
Lend my voice to the motion so moved by the honorable leader, sponsored by so many colleagues. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I must thank God for the life He has given to all of us during the emergency rule period. Lived well, without headache, and we are back. Mr. Speaker, I urge all members to stand fast while we do our legislative duty in line with the laid down constitutional provisions. Mr. Speaker, very fast, let me align myself with the prayers of the so moved motion. First, we all, more especially my constituents, has asked me to commend Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for suspending the emergency rule in Rivers State and reinstating democratic institutions. For that, he has done so well. Secondly, let me lend my voice to call on the Governor of Rivers State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, GSSRS, to forward the list of his nominees for appointment as commissioners into the State Executive Council in line with the PALI and the constitutional provision. Having said that, let me align myself with prayer 7, where any other rule might be necessary for us to lay in. Mr. Speaker, having said that, let me thank honorable members and take a seat. Thank you.
William Lucky, representing the good people of Obiapo constituency too. I rise this morning to first of all commend the effort of the sponsors of this motion and to align myself with number 1 and number 2 to commend the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for restoring democratic institutions in the state. This is a welcome development. I join millions of Nigerians to thank Mr. President, because this has, in fact, boosted the confidence of Rivers people and the states in Nigeria in general. Then number 5, to ascertain what transpired in the last 6 months with regards to award of contracts and expenditure from the consolidated revenue. Mr. Speaker, this is very important. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, let me also thank the movers of this motion, represented by the leader of the House, for these important motions and associated with these important and crucial prayers. Mr. Speaker, the prayers are very, very explanatory. 1, the President is to be commended for restoring peace and democratic rule in Rivers State. And the third prayer, that the governor should submit list of commissioners, very key. There is no way the governor will work alone. Just like as an assembly, we have resumed work today. The governor needs to start work in earnest. And without commissioners, he cannot function alone. He can't be everywhere. So, Mr. Speaker, without wasting time, I want to appeal to my colleagues to support this wonderful motion, because they are all the prayers are necessary for a government to kickstart, to get good results and achieve possible goals. So let members support this motion so that we move to the next stage. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I rise to align myself with this important motion, heavily sponsored by the House leader, and 9 other colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I totally align myself with prayer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, when especially commending the President for restoring democratic structure back. We thank Mr. President. And also prayer 5, to ascertain what transpired in the last 6 months in regard to award of contracts and expenditure from the consolidated revenue of the state is very key, very important. Let's find out what happened. And Mr. Speaker, prayer 7, that make any other this House may deem necessary in this circumstance. I wish to learn by voice that we should ask the executive immediately, considering what the NIMET has said, that there is flood that is coming, and River State is part of this 12 states. Let us quickly do something about it to control the flood. That is my prayer. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Right Honorable the Speaker, very distinguished, faithful and fair colleagues of the 10th Assembly, I want to join my voice in welcoming everybody back to our various seats. The Right Honorable Speaker, I am Takenare Wellington Granville. I represent the very good people of Asai Toro Constituency 1. The Speaker, today I want to lend my voice to other of my colleagues that have spoken, and I love to appreciate God Almighty, the maker of all of us, the maker of the governor, the maker of the president, the maker of every member of the State Assembly. For indeed, he has stated it clearly in his word in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, in everything, give thanks to the Lord. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you, the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, for indeed taking us to the promised land. Again, I am thanking you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Martins Amerule. I can say, indeed, you are the Moses of the 10th Assembly. Thank you once more for your passion for Rivers people, for standing firm for Rivers people, and for always liaising with the 10th Assembly, 27 members of the Rivers Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I support all the prayers. I support all the prayers, but I want to use this medium to commend our President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for restoring democratic institutions into our dear states. Mr. Speaker, and our very dear colleagues, President Bola Tinubu is indeed a leader. I repeat, is indeed a leader. Today, if you go through the social media, everybody in Rivers State is happy. Even the members of the 10th Assembly, we are all happy that today, he has restored the democratic institutions in our dear state. I want to thank him and pray for him. And as a leader, as a president, we will continue to pray for him that may the Lord Almighty continue to bless him. And may the Lord Almighty continue to preserve him and lead him for Nigerians to benefit the dividends of democracy and the dividends of a leader like Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Mr. Speaker, as I've always said, I align myself with all the prayers, but I want to concentrate on prayer 3 that says, the executive governor of Rivers State, our brother, our friend, our governor, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, GSSRS, to forward the list of his nominees for appointment as commissioners into the State Executive Council in line with the Constitution and the terms of the Peace Parley. Mr. Speaker, you know, one thing I always know and appreciate, the Rivers people, they're always happy with the giant assembly, especially the 27 members of the Rivers Assembly. We are always ready to serve Rivers people. We are always ready to do the needful that the law requires. Mr. Speaker, calling on the governor to forward the list of his appointees is to tell Rivers people again that we are always ready, anytime, any day, to do what is needful to move Rivers State forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this great opportunity. Thank you, members of the Rivers State Assembly. Thank you, Rivers people, for standing with the 10th Assembly all this period. Thank you, and God bless us all.
With all the things that that have been resolved here, and I must commend the sponsors, the nine of them, for a job well done. Mr. Speaker, I must lay emphasis on paragraph 3, the last sentences. In line with Constitution. That is the hallmark of what we are doing here. In line with the Constitution. So I must thank the people that drafted this for putting that. And then I must align myself also specifically with prayer 4 and 5. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Let me first of all thank the Speaker of the House. My name is Honorable Franklin Akpoti from Onega Conference 1. Mr. Speaker, my constituent has directed me to say thank you to you for your such behavior and steadfast. When we came into this journey, personally, I was weak, but you strengthened everybody here. You may not believe that we are fighting a just fight. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I also thank the movers of this motion. It is appropriate at this point, and I align myself with the 9 motions moved. And I also call the governor of the state
to be a man at this point, to save Rivers State, to do what is needful at this point, to focus with administration of the state. I thank my friends, my colleagues, for being wise at this point. Rivers State must move forward in Jesus' name. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
My very revered colleagues, I remain your brother and friend, Honorable Igwe Akpoti. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning as a happy man, and I will start by explaining the feathers to you and my dear colleagues. This feather signifies joy, peace, and happiness. What that means is that Rivers State will be happy again because you are there. Mr. Speaker, I am happy to align myself with my friend and brother, Tekenari Wellington, to thank you. To thank you because I am part of the movers of this motion. And it is only a speaker that has the interest of Rivers State that on the day one would demand to ask what we have. Some speakers can go into issues that will not benefit the state. Looking at the other paper, you have called the clerk what is on the other paper. You have quickly start getting the ground running immediately for the interest of our state. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you. Because the interest of the state, you have displayed it over and over again, that is where you stand. That Rivers State is first in all you do as a citizen legislator. So thank you for giving us leadership in the state. Mr. Speaker, I was part of the movers of sponsors of this motion. And I wouldn't have said anything, but for emphasis, it is good to let my colleagues know that if you check, it is important to thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I commend the President for restoring the institutions in the state, especially the legislative institution, because the voice of Rivers people for the past 6 months has been lost. So a lot has gone wrong because we were voted by our people. We were voted to protect their interests. We were voted to watch after the state for them. So for 6 months, Rivers people have not had a voice. So for the President to restore us back today means that Rivers people's hope is now high and they can know what happens to their accounts, consolidated accounts. And that brings me to the prayer of number 4. Number 4, prayer 4. Calling on the government to commence the process of coming up with appropriate law for the remaining part of the year to address current realities. Mr. Speaker, if the governor, appropriation law, if the governor does not prepare immediately for us, because we cannot work without an appropriation, and whatever has happened in the past or happened before, we are not part of it, not even the governor. And so this assembly needs to quickly have a document to work with. We need a document to work with. So an appropriation law, appropriation bill needs to come quickly from the executive. And so we don't have time because we are in the ending part of this section. Because if you see prayer 6, which shows that as legislators, we are the third legislative year. So we need to know. So we are quickly acting on the executive to bring appropriation law so we can guide and protect the interests of our people and also know what happened to Rivers people's money. If you see prayer 3, call on the executive governor of Rivers State to forward lists in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. There are commissioners that are enshrined in the Constitution, and the governor cannot work. The state cannot move forward without commissioners that are men and are enshrined in the Constitution.
So it is very, very necessary for the governor to immediately forward this to this assembly so that he can start working on River State. Mr. Governor, Mr. Speaker, if you go to the body of this motion, knowing that the third section of the 10th Assembly commences in June 2025, legislative business was not happening in River State because of the emergency rule. Our colleagues in various states have outlined what they should do and what they will not do. And we need to quickly, as a house, outline how to catch up with our colleagues. Because River State was the only state that was under emergency rule. And Mr. Speaker, I know that there are a lot of programs that you are meant to attend on behalf of the state. And so we need to outline those programs quickly. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the prayer 7, make any other order that this house may deem necessary in this circumstance. I will add to the members of this assembly that this is a time for us to be more selfless in the discharge of our duty to our state, despite what has happened in the past. Let us all rise to the occasion of doing what we know how to do best by following the leadership of our speaker. Whenever we are called upon, because we don't have time, we have lost 6 months, let every member make himself available for the law development of our dear state. On this note, Mr. Speaker, I urge all my colleagues, my friends, that we should not waste any further time, but to get this to the next stage so that River State can move forward again. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu, we know he went for vacation, but he caught his vacation and came back for this, what happened yesterday and today. So I'm very happy. I want to thank him for his fatherly advice and assure him that the 10th Assembly will not disappoint these things. Mr. Speaker, you have been a wonderful person who has put us into light. I commend you and thank you for all your work. And I want to align myself with number 5. Number 5 is very important to me. As I stay what transpired in the last 6 months with regard to the award of contract and expenditure from the consolidated revenue fund of the state, it's very important.
Debate for this motion is hereby closed. Distinguished colleagues of Daniels, with your leave, let me highlight the prayers of the motion that we have all agreed to. This House resolved that we do commend the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, for restoring democratic institutions in their states. We also resolved that we should declare that the River State Assembly will continue to abide by the terms of the peace panel between us, the governor, and all stakeholders for the interest of these states and, of course, for the good governance of our dear states. Thirdly, the House resolved that we should call on the governor of River State, Mr. Siminalayi Fubara, GSSRS, to forward the list of his nominees for appointment as commissioners into the River State Executive Council, so that the wheel of governance of River State can begin to move in the direction it should move, knowing fully with that it is important that there should be an Executive Council that has to be constituted by men and women of integrity, people that were screened by the River State Assembly in line with the Constitution, people who are willing to assist the governor to make River State what it should be. The House also resolved that we should call on the governor to commence the process of forwarding an appropriation bill to the River State Assembly to cater for the financial plan that is expected to take us to the trajectory that Rivers people have been expectant of. We all know that the budget that was passed by the National Assembly was, as we were told, implemented by the outgone administrator. The 10th Assembly of River State didn't make an input to that document. We never saw it. We still don't have it. We don't even know what is contained inside. And it doesn't look like there are provisions that will meet the current realities of the state. Therefore, we think there is need to look at how we can work with the government so that we can provide that legislative instrument that will guide spending for River State in the coming months, of course, before the end of this fiscal year. Again, the House Speaker, that there is need to ascertain how contracts were awarded by the outgone administrator and how much was spent, what funds were received. Yes, all that transpired happened on the emergency rule. But funds spent, funds belonging to River State. And it is the 10th Assembly of River State that has the constitutional mandate to know or decide what happens going forward. So we need to know what has transpired. We need to know, because our constituents would like to know. Again, the sponsors of this motion, and very importantly to have said that we should immediately outline the legislative agenda for the remaining part of the third section of this 10th Assembly. And this House has resolved that we should do just that. Honorable members, distinguished colleagues, that is exactly what transpired. It's important to outline them so that we remain on the same page as we move forward. Distinguished colleagues, is that what we agreed and resolved? Distinguished colleagues, on that note, that brings to an end this item, other paper, and we will do the needful and ensure that going forward we will work with the governor in line with the terms of the peace planning, in line with the Constitution. We will ensure that all that we are going to do will be in interest of our dear River State. And on that note, let me put it to voice votes. Honorable members, all that I've said, does it reflect? Yes, nay. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stands adjourned to the 22nd Monday, September 2025, 10 a.m. I so move.
Second, this House stands adjourned to Monday, 22nd day of September.
I would sleep in my house. So what's Facebook now is one of the we tell them